Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Kev. We're here in Kev's kitchen and we're ready to make Mom's famous chili. We got our ingredients all out, we got the pans preheating, and we are ready to rock and roll. Let's show you how it's done. You're going to need 1.5 pounds or so of ground beef. You're going to want a medium-sized onion, your green pepper, and go crazy. Feel free to experiment. I've got serrano peppers, jalapeno peppers, poblano peppers. We got a shallot, or shallot. I don't know, Gordon Ramsay. You tell me how to say it. We got our garlic. We got a plum tomato. We're going to need a can of kidney beans, a can of black beans. Make sure you drain these before you put them in. Normally I like to do homemade sauce, but I'm on a pinch budget, so here we go. We got our can of sauce. We need only Toro Rosso crushed tomatoes. And we got the rest of our stuff. You know, you can use your McCormick chili, or you can make your own chili spices. I suggest having fun, experimenting, because you never know what taste you come up with. Red pepper, just for a little bit of color. And we're going to get right into this and show you where to start. First thing you're going to want to do is wash off all your vegetables. So we'll get those all washed, rinsed, and prepped. Red, white, and green, baby. So your next step here, we've got our vegetables all washed here, all right? And what we want to do is we're going to prep these all, because in our preheated pan, we're going to combine maybe 2 to 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. See here, we've got an excellent one. You can use any one though, really. You simmer those. What we're going to do is melt these down, so that way we kind of get the essence of them combined into the oil, the flavor of them. We got, some people have different tastes as far as heat goes. A jalapeno, we know what that's like. The serranos can be a little bit of hot. But what we want to do is take the edge of the heat away so we can get the essence of the flavor of all the ingredients incorporated into our oil and then incorporated into our chili. So we're going to chop those all up, and we'll show you when we'll be back when they're in. Little onion slicing tip here. What you want to do is you want to kind of come down and make maybe 1, 2, 3 horizontal cuts about the length of your knife. Then you're going to come through and just do horizontal, or vertical, all the way across the top. Cut the onion like this so the root keeps it all together. And what you'll have is a nice easy way to dice all your onions very quickly. Boom, onions. Voila, we got about 4 cloves of garlic. Alright, we got a shallot here. I don't even know what to do with these. I just wanted to say shallot. They smell like onions though, so I'm pretty sure you can just use them like onions. What we're going to do next here is we cut off the tops of each of these. We're making a slice right down the side of it. We're going to open these up. Remove most of the stuff. The seeds have a lot of flavor, so you don't want to take all the seeds out, but you also don't want a chili full of seeds. So we're going to do this with pretty much all of these peppers here, and we'll show you how that's prepared in just a moment. Just a side note, for those of you that are sensitive to the peppers, you may want to put on a pair of plastic or latex gloves when doing this, because the residue will end up on your hands, and you touch your eyes or something later, it will burn. Another pro tip, if I can focus on this correctly, can you see the little kind of capsules, puscules there on the inside of that pepper? This is where most of the capsaicin is stored in the pepper, giving it that heat. If you just rub the back of your fingernail through and pop them all as such, that'll let a lot of the capsaicin out, where you can enjoy more of the essence of the flavor of the pepper. I'm electing not to do that. I like a little more heat in mine. I'm going to actually simmer these down in the pans shortly, which will also do the same thing to reduce some of the heat levels of that. But you can easily just, any pepper you want, pop those capsaicin puscules or whatever, and just enjoy the taste of the pepper without the horrible heat. And voila, we are prepped here. We've got our serrano, jalapeno, poblano, and a green bell. We got a red pepper, we got onions, we got garlic, and a little shallot just to be fancy here, okay? And next what we're going to do is, these are going to take a little bit longer. I'm going to mix these with a bit of olive oil and some butter. I'm going to slow sweat those on a pan in themselves with a little bit of salt. The others are going to be sweated down in some EVOO, and once they are both ready, we will combine the two and then start mixing the rest of our ingredients. Now we're cooking with cast iron here, And the trick with these, we've had them preheating on low heat for quite a while. We want to turn these up, and about every 5 minutes or so, you just want to rotate your pan, make sure that they're preheating evenly. We want our pans to be nice and hot, because once we put the room temperature vegetables in, it's going to cool the pan down, and we want them to get a nice simmer. As soon as we put them in, we'll turn the heat back down to about 3 or low medium. And we're back. You know your pans are preheated when you can touch the edge barely without it being light enough for you to leave your finger there. So we're going to start by putting in a couple of swigs of EVOO. And then we'll get our stuff ready here. Alright, normally I will just scoop this off of the board into the pan, but I'm going to hold the camera here. We're just going to get these over here, nice and quick like that. Shout out to Robert Picardo, the best Mobile A remix ever with Tupac. And then we'll just mix those around real quick. Give them a quick little braise, get them coated in all of the EVOO. I'm going to shut that down to about low medium. We'll put that on 3, and quickly we're gonna move from here to there. Now you don't have to separate these all perfectly scientifically. The point is you just don't want to overcrowd your pan, because then they don't cook evenly. You just end up kind of steaming them instead of sweating them down. So we got these nice and hot. Freeze them real quick. Give them another little dash of butter, maybe like a pat of butter, a dollop of olive oil, and then we're just going to turn these down to low and let them simmer for probably about 10 to 15 minutes, or until your onions become translucent and you can breathe over the top of these without burning your nostrils. And we'll be right back. One more thing, did add a little dash of sea salt and some turmeric just to start and get that infused in there. Everyone likes to use kosher salt. I'm not really sure what the benefits are, so one day I'll learn. Until then, sea salt is just as fine. Pro tip, the more you sweat these peppers down, the less heat you'll feel on your taste buds. You will still maintain the essence of the flavor of the pepper, but we got little ones here with sensitive taste buds, so that's why we're sweating these down so much. You do not even have to sweat these down nearly as much as I am. You can put them all right into the mix immediately. It all just depends on your taste. So just as I thought, we've melted down our onions and garlic, and those are just fine. We're going to take those off the heat. And the way to tell when your peppers are almost done is, oh man, if you can put your face over that steam of those peppers without getting burned, or less burned than before, then you're on the right path. So we're just going to keep melting these down a little bit, and we'll be right back with the next step. So folks, we're going to go ahead and get these right into their final resting place, which is our cooking pot. And very important, what we're going to do with both of these is the peppers, the sweated onions. We want to incorporate all of the juice, the oil and everything. It's been infused with all of the flavor, and we want that all to be encapsulated in our chili. However, you'll notice when we do the beef, you want to have this all pre-set up. We're going to drain the beef. That way we don't put all of our extra fat. We don't want it to be too greasy, and number two, you don't want it to all go down to the drain either. So we have successfully breathed over these without choking ourselves out. Another tip with your pans, you want to leave that on. Let it get hot until you're ready to clean it, because that way you'll be able to steam all of the dirt off without having to scrub it and wash it. So now we're going to incorporate these into their home, and we'll be right back. Alright, so we are preheating our pan. We want it to be on medium-high heat to get ready for the beef. We're going to steam clean this real quick, and then we'll get rolling. Alright, we're going to do a little sprig of avocado oil in here, because it has a high smoke index. And we want this pan real hot to cook this up real good. Just spread that oil around. And then we're going to put our beef right in there. So we got our beef in. The reason we want it hot is because the beef is cold and it cools down the pan immediately upon entry. So we're just going to get this all nice and browned. You want to treat it like you're making taco meat homemade. Chop it all up and get it all browned. Then we're going to drain it. We're going to season this, as you can tell, in multiple steps. We've seasoned our vegetable ingredients. Then we're going to add our little McCormick packet to this. And then once it's all together, then we'll start adding all the real stuff. And we'll show you how that's done. So while the beef is browning, we might as well kill two birds with one stone. We've added our crushed tomatoes. We're going to add our sauce. And then when you are using beans, you must drain them multiple times before adding them. Otherwise you get all that weird bean dark juice on there, which kind of messes up the whole flavor and texture. So that's what we're going to do, and we'll be right back when we show you. So we have successfully drained our beef. Look how much beef fat we've saved. You can save that for later as a beef broth, or you just let it harden and put it in the trash. Now we've got our McCormick, our beef. We're going to add a little splash of water in there, mix that up, and then we'll add the rest of the ingredients together in the pot. I recommend everybody get a sieve for their kitchen. It just makes so many processes so easy. And our last solid ingredients have been added. And now for the offhand, barely measured spices. Definitely cumin. Whole bunch of cumin. Water. Whole lot of water. Some Funyuns. No water or Funyuns, just so. But definitely want to just load that right on there, nice and rich. Get a good pile of cumin. Don't be afraid to add too much spice. It can be too spicy, that's fine. Not spicy enough, not so much fun. Chili powder, or no, what is this, turmeric? Not too much of a taste with turmeric, but it's super healthy for you. It's one of those like powerful herbs. My go-to combo is salt, pepper, turmeric, and smoked paprika. Now the chili pepper you want to go easy with. That should be enough. You can add more if you want it to be a little hotter. A little pinch of garlic powder. We've already got garlic in there, so we want to overdo it. And then definitely local Italian market, Cardona's. Great place. If you need any supplies whatsoever, that is a place to go. Fresh deli meat, home cooked foods. They are the absolute best market in this area. And the smoked paprika, get that in there nice and good. And we're just going to start with that for now. I'm going to add the salt and pepper shortly. We're just going to mix this all together in a second. We're going to slowly bring this up to a higher heat. Just lightly incorporate that into there. And I forgot to mention too, I did dice up one plum tomato just to have like a little hint of freshness in here. Just mix this all up lightly and good. We're going to let that simmer for about 15-20 minutes, and we'll add some salt and pepper. Come back, taste it, make sure it's tasting good. And we'll keep showing you updates. I literally just finished mixing this. It already looks and smells so good, guys. I'm so excited for this. I wish you could be here to smell this and taste this. My whole house smells amazing. But it's going to get even better as this slowly cooks and melts down. All the flavors incorporate into each other. Oh, it's just going to be fantastical. So normally I like to do Jiffy cornbread mix. That's how my mom always did it. But if you don't feel like going through all those motions, get yourself one of these, slap her in the oven for about 15 minutes just to warm her up, maybe at like 250 or whatever, and you got yourself some ready-made cornbread. And we'll plate this up for you in just a moment. And guys, here we are, the moment you've been waiting for. The finished product. You just drape some of that chili over this delicious cornbread. Put a little cheddar cheese over the top. Let that get in there and melt. And oh, voila, bon appetit. Shout out to Mom. My house smells like all the love she filled my house up with growing up as a kid. And now I get to share that with my family as well. I hope you guys like this recipe. Try it, leave some comments, like and subscribe. And we'll see you next time in Kev's Kitchen.